inevitably, I think there does need to be a bit of movement and a few guys getting a bit of rest. There's a few of them I think that need to play. In contrast to that, I think Sean O'Brien, maybe you'd want to give him another 40 or 50 minutes. He's another guy who likes to get 4 or 5 games under his belt to really hit his rhythm. So you want him to be. He looked kind of in his rhythm, I admit today, but maybe there's even more we can get out of him.
Worth a couple of match tickets, Joe?
Easy. Only if you've got a blue jumper.
On that, you mentioned the midfield there, and maybe Gordon Darcy looked like a guy, Shane, who maybe felt that his World Cup was over, and he looked extremely disappointed on that bench. So hopefully it looked worse than it actually is. But they go back to the Sexton O'Gara thing. Is it just simply too risky to be playing both of your top right fly halves from the start? If one of them goes down, you're left with a serious problem then.
Yeah, I definitely think it has to stay the way it is. Sexton start and O'Gara coming on. Like it works that way because Sexton or O'Gara with his experience is watching the game. Like he's already decided what way he's going to play, what he's going to do before he comes on. And Sexton's a big bloke. Put him in first centre. Okay, it's a different position defensively, a different position, but he won't let you down. As for Darcy, the only hope I have is that they did tape up his hammer and he stayed on. If he'd torn it, he wouldn't have been able to do that. So hopefully it's a pull.
That's what the disappointment was, that he was missing on the remainder of this game rather than knowing there's something more serious there.
Well, hopefully he'll be back, as you say, for the Italian game, because that's the next, absolute cracking game we have to perform on.
Okay, next up, we'll get to yourself and then the lady down the right. What's your name?
Shane, do you think it was a bad decision of the Australian management to leave their hooker on?
I thought it was a brilliant decision. I just can't fathom how a guy who clearly can't throw the bloody ball is there, and in a game where it's hurting him a hell of a lot. How he wasn't shipped off, like your man must be a right donkey who was on the bench, but they wouldn't bring him on.
As usual, Shane Byrne sitting on the fence. Alright, what's your name?
I was wondering, what do the panel think the Australian management will be saying to the team, given the fact that during the match some of the Australians looked confused that Ireland were playing? Do you think there'll be heads being knocked together?
We'll take that one, Joe.
I know Robbie pretty well. I know that Robbie can be prone to telling things like they are, but I think he'll be pretty calm. He knows that they've got another game in a very short space of time. I think when he'll get vicious is when he puts a few images up and show how they were bullied. And he'll keep his powder dry for Monday when he's got a bit of time to get his exact thoughts together. He's very much a strategist, Robbie, so I don't think he's that emotional and that he'll fly off the handle. I see David Nusipora in the box, he'll fly off the handle. He'll tell them a few things, and I think Jim Williams will go for a few points.
Just on that, I'm not sure what Joe thinks, but certainly I felt that if they had Matt Giddo on the bench to come on, they left Matt Giddo out of the squad pre-World Cup, and it certainly looked like they were chasing the game without any real plan. And someone of his experience, maybe that was a mistake that Robbie made, pre-World Cup, because they did look quite rudderless there, and it was the same thing, just chasing the game, throwing 50-50 passes. So that might come to hurt him later on the tournament.
One of the people in the audience there asked, get me a line that I'm definitely going to use on News Talk later, but she asked us, is this the Garden of Eden now for this Irish team? And obviously Eden Park now will be fondly remembered, but just in terms of the World Cup as a whole, in the build-up to the tournament, Shane, we've talked about the Welsh and the English and the French turn up for World Cups. They managed to get their game in the right place at the right time, where obviously judging certainly by 99 and 2007, that's something we failed dramatically to do. But here we are, we've arrived on the big stage, and we've used that to put together maybe an even bigger win than the Millennium Stadium 2 years ago.
Yeah, but you've got to remember is that in all those World Cups you mentioned, the size has been getting better, despite the disaster of the last World Cup. Like that was a management structure that got that wrong. Like we're still a fantastic side, and the only thing that we've been waiting on has been the fact is the performance. For some reason, and we've all played in games where you're trying your damnedest, you're doing everything you can do, and you just can't get into the game. Things just don't click. And this game couldn't have come at a better time. The Achilles heel of Irish rugby is the fact that no matter who we're playing against, we drop down to their level if they're supposedly worse than us, or if they're better than us, we have the potential to rise up. And that's what we did today. This came at that. If we were playing Russia this week, we probably would have bloody struggled. The fact that we had to get the game together, we did, and we're a very good side. We can play against the best of them. But one thing we have to shake out of this is what we did against the USA. We actually went down and competed against the USA at the USA's level, rather than inflicting their game plan. You know, not to be down. How we won. You know, yay!
Absolutely, absolutely. Any more questions? Yeah? You can get the last pair of match tickets as well. Hopefully you see another victory tonight.
Yeah, an easy one really. What will Australia take from this, and do you think it might be the best thing that's ever happened to them on their way to maybe win the World Cup?
They lost, that's the best thing that ever happens to Australia.
He does have a point there though. I mean, they do now have to go the more difficult route, you know, to a potential World Cup semi-final or a final, and we've seen teams that have been beaten on route. Stick on Robbie Deans there.
They played very well, didn't allow us to recycle the ball, and it was effective.
A lot of penalties, particularly around scrum time, a lot of pressure there.
Yeah, that's right. It's the nature of the game, and that's the nature of World Cups. It's very much about the passion and the defence, and you can't be sure of getting momentum.
A few opportunities that you had, were you happy with the tactics? Would you like a bit more field position? Do you think you might have played a wee bit too deep?
Yeah, we would have liked more field position, but our decision making wasn't always great. And when we did get momentum, when we did get behind them, we were impatient. And we let the pressure off.
Robbie, thanks very much for talking to us. I know it's been hard work here. Thank you.
Thanks for it.
James, obviously a big setback there. You just couldn't get anything really going.
Joe, I mean, he's a compatriot of yours. It's going to be difficult for him, I guess, to bring Australia on from this. Is the pressure even more upon him, given the fact that he's a New Zealander and maybe the Australian public won't take to this defeat too well?
No, they will be harsh on them, and that's inevitable. They have a real winning culture, or they have a real belief that they have a winning culture. And I think that the thing with the Australians, they're a good side. If anyone can turn them around, I think Robbie will do a good job of it. Obviously, you can't suddenly solve a scrum problem, and that's going to be an issue for them. I know Sikopi Kipu a little bit, and I know that we didn't pick him in the New Zealand Schoolboys one year when we just decided he couldn't scrum. Great ball carrier, good worker around the field, but you know, he's got some guys there who struggle at scrum time. It's such an important set piece, particularly with Drizzly Old Night, and as uncommon as that is in New Zealand, you know, there's more often the scrum that is going to really put pressure on teams.
Anybody else want to put a question to the lads? Over the corner there, yeah? All of the match tickets done. We do have some VIPs still on the passes still to give away though.
Guys, what did you think of the Australian number 10, Quay Cooper?
Going to take that Byrne, given the amount of time you spent in the standoff stuff?
Far too much for a coach like him. Quay Cooper's an incredible player. He's one of the most talented runners of the ball and creative players at the World Cup. But the big question mark is his ability to handle pressure. You know, when a game is like that in the last 10 minutes, you're going to make the right decisions. And I think there we saw that he is prone to get Russia good to head and try to win the game on his own. You know, he threw a huge amount of passes out of tackle there, which were aimless. There was no support, and you know, it really added to the Australian team's frustration. So. You know, Robbie Dean just said it was at the back of him. You know, and when he looks at the video, he's really going to question some of the decision making that his halfbacks made. And you know, I like to watch him as a player, but you know, people are comparing him to Dan Carter. For me, Dan Carter, you know, is a level above at the moment in terms of his all-round game management. You know, and his ability to actually close out a game. And I think that's going to be key for Australia to go forward, whether Cooper can close out games.
Any more questions before we wrap up? Yeah?
This is going to be the best question of the night, I think, isn't it?
Don't you think that the Irish team do so much better when they're the underdogs? That at this time they went in as underdogs and they played incredibly well. Against USA, they're going to be bloody awful.
Yes, you're right. You are right. It is the Irish psyche. This was tailor-made for us running into it. Total underdogs. We've been playing crap up until now. You know, there's a performance in them, they're a great side, but they still have to do it, and they did it well.
Good question. Anyone else? Yeah?
Just following on from that question, would you have any fears about the Italian match?
Personally, if Mike Ross isn't 100%, I would have a few worries about the Italian match. They're not going to open the game up a heck of a lot. They'll put the ball in behind a lot. Kira at 10 is quite a nippy little player, but he will go to the air a lot. They play a lot of box kicks in behind, so it's not going to give us quite I suppose, the same sort of match as we saw today. So for me, if Mike Ross isn't in the scrum, the Italian scrum is, I think, a few bit stronger, as we saw earlier in the tournament, than the Australian scrum. So I think Trico is so level-headed. He, as he said today, you know, we've won 2, we've got 2 more to win. I do certainly think that they will celebrate this one, but this time tomorrow morning it will be all about Russia, and then really targeting that Italian game, because they know if they win that Italian game, they are on the good side of the draw, and they'll be playing Samoa or maybe Wales.
Yeah, with interest on that one. Before we get to final thoughts on the lads, we have some VIP tickets to this week's Solheim Cup in Kincastle, the best women golfers in the world in the United States and Europe going head to head. Lads, have you got a real stinger of a question off the top of your head you want to put to the audience? Off you go, Joe. Put you on the spot.
Okay, I will say, watching the game today, the point scoring from Ireland, how many points were scored by Johnny Sexton and how many were scored by Ronan O'Gara?
First up with the right answer is 2 tickets for the Solheim Cup. Okay, so how many points did O'Gara kick?